Welcome to today's episode of Your Daily Scrum. I'm professional Scrum trainer Ryan Ripley. This is professional Scrum trainer Todd Miller. Todd, say hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Daily Scrum, we're here to answer all the questions that you have about Scrum, the things that come up on your teams, with the hope that however we answer these helps you and your team move forward, deliver awesome products, and create very happy customers. Todd, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
Todd, I think you have a story to tell us, don't you?
I do. A story that came from Barbara. And the story as it goes, first of all, congrats, Barbara, on passing your PSM assessment. That's pretty good. Great job. That's awesome. It's no easy assessment. Done. Yeah, Scrum.org has the most difficult Scrum assessments out there, so that's a great step. Next, Barbara was telling us a little bit of a story that she was starting with a brand new team, and the team couldn't deliver value for 3 to 4 weeks. What happened is they didn't have access to source control. And so what they did is they spent their time setting up environments, going through the product backlog, probably trying to fill time wherever they could, right? So 3 to 4 weeks, and they couldn't, they basically really couldn't do anything else other than that. So that's what she was telling us.
Yeah. And so we kind of boiled that question down to, what do we do when we are blocked? Mm-hmm. Right? What happens when teams are blocked? And so this is where I jump into action. I have a statement here that I should type in, Scrum Master. So I'm gonna type this while Todd talks.
Cool. Yeah. One thing I left out too is Barbara specifically asked about Sprint Zero, said that she noticed on her assessment there is no Sprint Zero. And so I'm going to come straight out of this while you're typing this, Ryan. This to me isn't a Sprint Zero. This isn't a sprint at all. You cannot sprint, right? You can't really, what you're doing now, and that time that you were using to fill whatever time until you were unimpeded, it's not a sprint, right?
Here's my thought on this topic, right? A Scrum Master has zero tolerance for organizational impediments. Zero. Right? Yeah. When we see a team blocked, so let's pretend I've been in the spot where the build server wasn't ready, or servers hadn't been racked yet, or we didn't have the licenses for a certain, Visual Studio or whatever it was that was going on. I literally sat outside the door of the person who could solve the problem until they helped us solve it. Right? I mean, that's just what we do. And you got to decide the level of annoying and irritating that you want to be on the scale of 0 to Ryan. Pick out where you want to be on that scale. But in all seriousness, a Scrum Master doesn't tolerate these impediments. We get with the teams, we put our heads together. We say, what do we do here to make progress? What do we do here to get started? Because we're burning someone's money just sitting here.
Oh, I was just going to say, do you know if I was the product owner in this circumstance, how upset I would be? This is my money that's being blown because they didn't have access to a source control repo, right? I am livid if I'm the product owner. And so I'm working, if I'm a Scrum Master, I'm working with the product owner to be like, we're losing this much money a day. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's something that we tell product owners all the time, right, Ryan, is to know how much a sprint costs you. So let's figure out how much money we're losing a day. That usually when you bring money into the conversation, people tend to start listening a bit more. So trying to find that fastest escalation path that you can to get this impediment removed.
Yeah, I think getting your product owner involved is great. Like it's their money, right? It's their budget. If the product owner can't help you solve the problem, they know someone who can. They know how to escalate. Get your product owner involved. I think Scrum Masters also have to be really comfortable partnering with management and leadership to solve the problem, right? Mm-hmm. When I said that a Scrum Master has zero tolerance for organizational impediments, check out that word organizational. You may or may not have the positional or authority or influence to solve that problem on your own. But if you have partners in management and leadership, which you should have because you're coaching the organization, right? And if you can get your product owner revved up over the costs that Todd's talking about, what can't you fix? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, just to kind of go back to the root with this, and I think that's our advice on this one. What's happening here is not a sprint. No. You can't call it a sprint. There is no such thing as a sprint zero. There is no such thing as a hardening sprint, right? We don't believe in special sprints. In fact, I think we did a what is a sprint video you can check out. There's a little bit more information on that. If you're not able to, if you don't have the tools or the ability to deliver an increment because you're just getting started and you're blocked, don't call it a sprint. It's not a sprint. Every sprint needs to result in a potentially shippable product increment, right? That's the intention. That's the beautiful thing. The most amazing thing about Scrum is that's our expectation. Now, we may fail from time to time, the exception, not the rule, but we need to strive for that. And it's not, it's not possible here. So it's not a sprint. Right.
Yeah, Barbara, great question.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending that in. That was another comment that was left on a previous video. So guess what, everybody? Leave us a comment. Let us know what you do when your team's stuck, how you get them unstuck, and perhaps you have a question of your own. Leave it in the comments. As you can see, over the past week here, we've been answering your questions.
Yeah.
And we want to answer more, right? So we want to make sure that your questions get answered. Leave them in the comments. We'll be sure to check it out. But I think we're going to move over to the close. What I'm going to do, I'm going to promise in the closing, down below here, you're going to see a video. I'm going to link back to the Fixing Your Scrum video that Todd mentioned. So I'll make sure that you can see the What is a Sprint video, which should help. But be sure to subscribe and like this channel, right? Smash this subscribe button, smash the like button. Todd smash.
Todd smashed the like button.
He's worn out from shoveling snow. The nor'easter has broken Todd.
Listen to that enthusiasm.
So yeah, make sure that you like and subscribe so you know when we drop a new video. Check out all the socials, the Facebook. I said the Facebook. I must be over 40, huh? Twitter, LinkedIn. We're all over the place. Plenty of content out there for you to check out. Leave us a comment.
You're not on MySpace, Brian. We are not on MySpace.
I miss Tom. Anyways, videos below. Check out the sprint one if you need some more help. Leave your questions if we need to clarify something. And thanks for being here.
Yeah,
we'll see you tomorrow.